It's day 5 of our 30-day New Year to Love You challenge. Let's get started. Hey friend, it is Kate here. Thank you so much for jumping on my channel and joining me here today. Now, if you're brand new here, we are on day 5 of our 30-day challenge. As I mentioned, you are welcome to start right from this little video here or go back to the beginning too, whatever works better for you. Now on Fridays, I am titling it Wine, Cheese, and Yoga Please. I know it's a ridiculous name, but I am a sucker for a good sassy name and you'll see why. So on Fridays, I thought it would be fun if we do a little yoga class together, followed up by kind of a snack and chat and hang with me, and we'll talk about kind of a nice wellness habit or just a topic that can really help us find a little bit more self-love, self-care, and enjoy a little snack together. One thing that I have very much been missing over the past couple months is just hanging out with my friends, getting to have a drink, getting to chit-chat, and like eating some delicious food. If you want to join me with a lovely, yummy snack afterwards, I think that sounds fabulous. You could tell me what you're snacking on in the comments below. If you just want to join me for the yoga class, that's okay too. If you want to watch and not eat anything, that's perfectly fine. Totally your prerogative. Well, let's roll out our mat and get started. We'll start in a seated position, and I've got a little blanket underneath my hips just to prop myself up a little bit higher. Again, as I mentioned, it's not like you have to have a great big fancy yoga blanket. You can have any blanket or towel or something that can be helpful. You can also entirely skip that option. No big deal either way. But go ahead, find an easy seat on your mat, and you know what, maybe cross your legs the opposite direction that feels most natural to you, just to shake it up a little bit. And begin to close your eyes and let yourself relax for a moment. Take a big inhale through your nose and an easy sigh out the mouth. Again, great big inhale. Nice, easy breath out. One more time, just like that. And let it go. Seal your lips together, sit a little taller, a little straighter. Maybe imagine me pulling your ears up to the sky, you broadening your shoulders across your back. Take a big inhale with eyes open or closed. As you exhale, dip your chin to chest. Hold right there for a moment. Think of almost reaching the back of your head, the very kind of topmost part of your spine, a little higher up to the sky. You might experience a little double chin sort of feeling there, and that's okay. Again, eyes can be opened or closed. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, roll your right ear to right shoulder. Hold there for a moment. Just let that head be heavy. Think of lightly pressing your left shoulder down. Big inhale. Exhale, roll your chin back to chest. Again, we might have that double chin sort of feeling, reaching the very back of your head up. Take a breath. Roll your left ear to left shoulder. No hurry, no rush. Slowly return yourself to center. Back of head lifts high. Take a big inhale. Big easy sigh out. Slowly bring your head back in alignment. You can blink the eyes open if you like. Take a big breath. Easy sigh out. And simply roll the shoulders backwards 3 times, lightly waking up our upper body. Roll them in the opposite direction. Pause, center. Again, big inhale. As you exhale, dip your chin to your chest. Now from here, we're going to forward fold lightly. You might go a little more shallow or a little deeper than I do, and that's okay. But think at the top of the head reaching towards the mat in front of you. Slowly, and you might move your hands away from your thighs and even on to the mat in front of you. And find that easy, gentle position that you can just hold a forward fold right here. Now we can lightly nod our head side to side. I'm kind of thinking about pointing my nose from one shoulder to the other. And then come on back center. Let that head be heavy. Slowly roll yourself all the way up to a nice tall seat. Lean your hands back, take your feet in front of you, and I want you to windshield wiper your hips side to side. That should feel pretty easy, pretty pleasant on those hips. And maybe it's like one and then the other, or maybe they go at the same time, totally up to you. And then from here, I want us to come back up to a seat. We're going to pull our right leg in and take our left leg lightly out. Now it's going to be out a diagonal line. We could take it a lot further, but we could also do pretty gentle and just have it slightly off of our mat than trying to yank it all the way over to the left. Take a moment here, sit up tall and straight. Think of your spine growing up to the top of the sky. And then as you feel ready, big inhale. Exhale, chin to chest. Start to forward fold over that bent right leg in front of you. And then again, we may bring our hands all the way down to the ground. Just let yourself hang here for a minute. Let that head be heavy. Almost imagine it's just dangling away from your neck, from your shoulders. Take a few big breaths here. If your left leg is bent, that's fine. If you want to think of actively flexing that foot and drawing that heel a little further away to create a little bit bigger of a stretch underneath the leg, that's okay. Just hold that stretch maybe for a moment and then take a breath and exhale, let your muscles relax and settle into this position. Notice, do your shoulders want to climb up? Maybe walk the hands a little further away if you feel that happening and soften a little bit further down, letting that head just kind of curl in. If you've taken class with me before, you know that I talk about kind of imagining you're draping over a beach ball when we do forward folds. Same thing here, even if it's a bit deeper than maybe you normally do, that's okay. Let yourself settle. And just hold it for a few more easy breaths. One more easy inhale here. Soft sigh out. Walk your hands closer to your body. Push yourself up. We're going to keep our left leg straight, but we're going to bring it straight in front of us. And you might kind of adjust your leg, kind of angling the hips, whatever feels better. Take a moment, flex the foot, sit up tall, sit up straight. Another big inhale. And again, drop the chin to the chest. Roll forward, finding that easy forward fold. Now, this is one of those places where we're all going to be a little bit different, and that's okay. Maybe you just think of really folding over that imaginary beach ball, draping across it. Maybe you have more range of motion, you can softly kind of sink a little closer. Some of us may even be able to reach for our extended foot. Now, it's not a huge, like, pulling my foot closer to my face or yanking my head down, but it's more of a softening into the position, letting your muscles kind of relax. As you breathe deeper in each pose we come to in our practice today, you might find that you naturally fall a little closer to the mat. You naturally might relax deeper, and that's perfectly fine. That's what we're going for. This is not a huge active pushing, pulling sort of practice. Instead, it's a gentle softening. One or two more breaths right here. And then take your hands around your leg, slowly push yourself up. Easy does it as we extend our right leg out to that diagonal angle, pulling our left leg in, finding a nice tall seat before we go anywhere, maybe broadening the shoulders, maybe nodding the head a little bit if we need to, and then big inhale, exhale, chin to chest, roll all the way down. And as we did on the first side, you might be able to bring those forearms down. You might have straight arms and just hold right here. This really depends on your body. It's okay to take a different variation than what I'm doing. Can you think about relaxing, especially through that cervical spine, letting the top of the head just reach for the mat beneath you?
Keep your breath even. Let your muscles kind of soften. Give them permission to relax a little bit and just hang out in the pose. One final big inhale. Easy sigh out. Slowly push yourself right back up. Head is last thing to come upright. And then again, we'll bring that leg straight in front of our hip. Maybe start by actively flexing, sitting up tall, sitting up straight, opening across the chest. And then dropping the chin, rolling forward into that easy forward fold. Either thinking about that beach ball that we're just hanging over. And again, hands can be straight. We might not have as much range of motion as I do, and that's a-okay. Or maybe you've got even more than I do, and you can really slump completely over your leg without feeling like you're forcing it. That's what we're going for here. No forceful action. Instead, just a relaxation, a softening. Once more, you can hold on to that foot if that feels pleasant and comfortable, but again, it's not a big yank. It's not driving our head to our leg. It's just letting go. And as you breathe deeper, again, you may notice that you naturally fall a little closer to your leg, a little easier. And as you feel ready, hands surround the leg, press down, roll yourself up. Head is last thing to come upright. Now from here, we're going to take both legs nice and wide, not as wide as we could go, just wider than our mat, a little wider than our hips. Sit up tall, sit up straight. Before we go anywhere, roll the shoulders back 3 times once more. Roll them forward. Take a pause, sit tall, sit straight, big deep inhale. Exhale, chin to chest. Roll all the way down. Now your hands can kind of slide down your legs like mine are, or maybe they come down to the ground, or they may be straight and we might use them as kind of like little stilts, a little kickstand to keep ourselves up. This is really your call. But again, we're going for a round shape in our body. And if there's a bend in your knees, that is 100% fine. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Maybe think about your shoulder blades behind your body. Can you almost imagine separating them a little more, creating more space from one side to the other, letting that head droop a little closer? Taking a few more breaths. And then as you feel ready, press into your hands, walk them towards your sitting bones, and roll yourself all the way up to a great big tall seat. Now we're going to bring our feet together, knees apart, and something that can feel really gentle, especially if you do have a blanket around, is supporting your ankles. I kind of open up my blanket a little bit more and then make it into a little roll. Oops. And then as I bring my feet together, I tuck the edges of the blanket around my ankles. So I just get a little bit of lift. Sometimes it just feels maybe a bit too much to have those ankles kind of pressing into the ground. Now, your feet can be a little further away or a little closer to your body, whatever feels most natural and wherever you think you can hold this shape for a little bit. Again, it's about relaxing into the pose and not feeling restraining ourselves as we arrive. And before we go anywhere in it, I want you to push into your shins, kind of with your hands, and then lightly reach your heart forward, and then reach your heart back, tucking the chin in. Rock forward on the sitting bones, reach your heart forward, and then reach it back. This time, reach the heart forward, pause, and swivel yourself around to the right. Pause when you come center. Swivel yourself around to the left. Maybe once or twice more. I will fully admit to you, this is one of my favorite things to do. I sit on my floor like this all the time, even when I'm not doing yoga, kind of watching TV. It feels good just to move around in my chest, in my hips, and my spine like this. Last one around. And then come back center. This is one where I really want us to think about that beach ball in front of us because we'll all be a little bit different. Instead of yanking the head down, we're going to drape over the beach ball and relax into the pose. So take a breath. Chin to chest, find that beach ball shape and start to round forward. Now your hands can really go wherever feels best. This will totally and completely depend on our own flexibility. But find that easy forward fold with our feet together, knees apart, and know that if we have too much strains on our hips, an easy way to kind of release some of that is if you have two like blocks or two pillows that you can put underneath your knees to give yourself even more support. So for those of us with really tight hips, that might feel a little bit nicer, a little more propped up. For those of us with really open hips, your knees might be less flopping to the floor on either side of you, and it's okay either way. But take a moment here, and this is another place where I kind of think about my shoulders, just parting behind my body, the top of my head reaching down. Big deep inhale. Tell your muscles to relax, to soften, to forget about exactly what the shape of your body looks like, and instead just fall into the pose. Almost imagine you're just melting into the ground. No hurry, no rush. And then as you feel ready, big deep inhale. Push your hands into the mat and slowly bring yourself all the way up to a great big tall seat. Remove the blanket from out underneath you if you have it. Lean back, take your feet onto the floor, and let's do that lovely little windshield wiper pose again. So we just did lots of rounding forward, lots of kind of opening up through the spine in a nice forward fold. Now we're going to do something a little bit opposite. So we're going to roll onto our tummies and lie down. And I just want you to start by bringing your elbows nice and wide, letting your forehead hit the mat, bending the knees, and taking that same windshield wiper right here, side to side. And then eventually from here, soften the feet down. And before we go anywhere, do think about lightly pressing your pubic bone into the ground and activating the thud, our thud connection point, if you've taken a lot of classes with me. And even though we want to relax into the pose, we want to protect our low back. So if you know you have a habit of really dumping forward and pressing into that lumbar spine, our lower back, we can take this a little bit more delicately, a little smaller if we need to. But eventually, you'll swim your hands out in front of you, and maybe at first just lying flat on your tummy, pulling the navel in, squeezing your thud, and then begin to pull your elbows closer towards your low ribs. Now it is really easy for you to just totally hinge, or not hinge, to press the tummy forward and to put a lot of pressure in that lumbar spine. I want you to actively think about pulling the belly button in, pressing your pubic bone down, and rolling the shoulders back. Almost imagine I'm standing behind you and I grab hold of the front of your shoulders and I pull them up and in. If this is too much here, you can walk out and make it a little bit more gentle. It does not have to be as deep as I am. But the more I think about pubic bone down, shoulders nice and broad, belly button in, the more I can open up across my chest. Take a big, deep inhale. Big breath out. One more full inhale here. Wing your elbows side to side, roll yourself down, hands act as a pillow for your forehead. Take your windshield wiper side to side again. And then this next time, we might do exactly the same thing that we did before. We might take it up a notch depending on our body. If we're going to go a little higher, I want you to take your hands underneath your shoulders and point your elbows back behind you. Still press into your feet, tone your belly, squeeze your thigh, press your pubic bone down, and then roll the shoulders up. Go ahead and press all the way up if we're in the mood. This might be too much for us, in which case, come on down. Now, this is one of those places where, I feel like freedom to move can be really helpful. Even though it's kind of counterintuitive, it might feel nice to let your shoulders creep up to your ears and then press them back down. Let them creep up to your ears. Press them right back down. You might even find it feels nice to let them creep up and hold right there for a minute. We feel a little funky because that is definitely the opposite of what we usually do with me. But it's good to explore different types of movement, different styles, just seeing what works in our body each and every day. Press the shoulders down one more time and then look over your right shoulder. Back to center. Look over your left shoulder. And if you notice, my lower body is very active even here because I'm trying to protect my low back, pressing that pubic bone down. Take one more inhale. How slowly, how carefully can we roll all the way down to the ground? Hands in front of you once more. Bend the knees. And a little windshield wiper side to side. Now, if we want something even bigger than our windshield wiper, because twists can feel so good after we do deep forward folds or deep back bends, you might find it feels nice to take your right hand out, to bend your left leg, and to twist all the way over, letting your foot kind of flop down. Few big inhales and exhales. Again, we're unconcerned with exactly what the shape looks like. I want you to enjoy the twist as it is. Maybe it's a little deeper than mine. Maybe your leg is floating off or it's closer to your body. That's okay. Roll onto your back once more. And we'll take the twist to the opposite side. Left hand out, right leg bent, and then roll yourself over. A few more breaths, and then make your way onto your belly. Knees can be together or apart, but we are going to tip back into a nice, gentle child's pose. Let your forehead hit the mat, and this is a really passive child's pose, so I don't want you to worry about reaching your fingertips further away. Just let them soften wherever feels best. Take a moment, decide maybe if your knees were apart, you want to bring them together or vice versa. See how that changes your child's pose. But again, let the hands be heavy, let those elbows droop. You may even find it feels nice to reach your hands back towards your heels and let your shoulders round forward. With each exhale, I kind of imagine my shoulders becoming heavier, parting behind my back, finding a little stretch across the space where my shoulder blades kind of try and touch one another. No hurry, no rush. Eventually, take your hands by your side, push yourself all the way up to a seat, and we're going to lie on our back. Make your way down onto the mat and let yourself soften for a moment. Almost think of just letting yourself become a nice warm pancake, just lying flat on your mat. And then we're going to reach our hands over our head and take our feet together just for a moment and take a big stretch from your fingers through your side body out your toes. And then I want you to hold your left wrist with your right hand and then walk your feet over to the right side of your mat. I like to cross my left leg, my left ankle over my right, and then pull my left hand across. And we're going to hang out here for just a few big breaths. Maybe close your eyes. Let your body soften. Think of kind of opening up through your lateral left side, almost fanning the ribs open. Take a big, easy inhale. Long, slow exhale. And then walk yourself back to center. Reach those fingers and toes away from one another again, maybe wiggling the fingers or toes. And then we'll grab the right wrist with the left hand. Feet walk over to the right side of our mat, and then cross the right over left. And take the hands to the left side. It's like your body's a little banana shape, a little crescent. A few more easy-going breaths right here. And then eventually come back to center. Bend the knees. And I want you to walk your feet a little bit wider than the hips and see if you can knock the knees together. That's not always super natural for everybody. If we don't have a lot of internal rotation in our hips, that's okay. I don't have a lot, so mine don't go very far either. Think about pressing the small of your back down, hollowing your tummy, and doing that easy windshield wiper we've been doing. And then eventually, no hurry, no rush. Find your Shavasana, your final resting pose. Palms can be up to the sky or down to the ground, whatever feels more natural. Take a long, slow inhale. Big, easy breath out. And as you lie here, just take a moment and notice how your body feels after you gave it permission to do some very gentle and relaxing poses. Our yoga class doesn't have to be about breaking a sweat or even about building muscle. It can be about softening, connecting to your body in a different way. A lot of us out there maybe feel like we have to get some big, giant movement going on each and every day. But truth be told, in my own practice, it's this soft stuff, this relaxing, easy movement that I know I need more often. I'm naturally inclined to do some of the bigger things, but it's a wonderful practice just to give yourself time here. To remind yourself that even little tiny movements, gentle inhales and exhales, can be a huge self-care, a huge way to Love your body. Take one more big, deep inhale. And a big audible sigh out. You can always stay here longer if you'd like to, but eventually blink your eyes open. Maybe feel a little movement in your body, big or small, fast or slow. Roll yourself to one side. Push yourself up to a seat. And I will meet you with a little snack to finish up our wine, cheese, and yoga please night.
Well, I hope you enjoyed our yin class. I feel nice and relaxed, and I'm hoping that you do too. I've got my lovely little snack out here. I will be fully honest with you though, I'm not drinking wine at the moment. It is the middle of the day, and I have some other things I have to do right after this, so not going to be drinking the wine. You can get yourself some bubbly water like I do, or just a water, or nothing at all. Maybe one day we'll do like a live wine, cheese, and yoga please on like a Friday, and we'll, do a yoga class, and then I can actually have a glass of wine and relax with you when I don't have like 19 other things to do throughout the day. Who knows? We'll see. No promises. So today's topic is actually about why I don't talk about weight loss. It's something that I've been very cognizant of since starting my channel, that I don't really want to be known for that. That's just not a huge goal of mine. And it's been something that I've wanted to talk about for a little bit, but I wasn't totally sure how. So I'm hoping this kind of, clears up any questions you might have along this topic. 2 disclaimers about this little chit chat. Obviously, we're talking about weight loss. So if you're not in a place or a stage that's something that you want to bring about right now, that's totally fine. Just, pause the video or move on. That's absolutely a-okay. The other thing is, just because I don't want to talk about weight loss, or it's not my goal for my videos to induce weight loss, I am not here to judge you if that is a goal of yours. You can have whatever aesthetic goals make you happy, or, bring joy into your body, your life. I am not here to say that you are not allowed to do that, or that you can't take my classes if that is a goal of yours at all. You can have whatever goals or accomplishments, aesthetic or not, in your physical body that make you happy. I don't know how this is going to turn out. Hopefully it's not too ridiculous. So I have 4 big reasons that I don't like to talk about weight loss, or I don't want that to be the focus of my channel or what I'm known for. And the first reason actually kind of goes along with that last disclaimer about being a judgment-free environment, a judgment-free space. I really feel very strongly that I don't want anyone, regardless of size, shape, physical ability, or their own personal choices, what they want to do with their body, to feel upset or shamed, or like they can't join in for a class because they don't have the same goals as I do. Ultimately, I want anyone to jump onto any video that I might be making and feel that they're going to get something out of it. Truthfully, I think Pilates and yoga are 2 things that pretty much all bodies can benefit from. And it doesn't have to be your main source of physical fitness or activity. It doesn't really matter if you're, an endurance runner, or, someone that just sits at their office all day long. Let's face it, most of us could benefit from some stretching, from some mobility in our joints. So that's reason number 1. I don't want anyone to feel like they can't join me for a class because they don't have the same intention or goals that I do. I hope you guys know that I'm actually eating as we're filming this. It's my lunch for today, or I guess a pre-lunch. It's kind of early in the day. Again, why I'm drinking bubbly water, not wine. Also, I realized that I put out these videos super early, or at least super early for my time. I've got a large UK viewership, and I feel like I put them out early enough that they can watch them before they go to work and things for the day. So they actually come out in the middle of the night, my time. So it totally makes sense if you're not drinking wine and you're just having a bubbly water, or even your coffee with me right now. We could be doing croissants and coffee, and that would be just as dandy. The second reason that I don't like to bring up weight loss on my channel is because I am not a nutritionist, I'm not a registered dietitian, I'm not a physician. Your body, your size, whether or not you are putting on weight or removing it, has so much to do with what you're eating, and it has things to do with if you're on medication, your hormone levels, your genetics, any predispositions in your family history. And that's not an area that I'm an expert in at all. I do not have training in those, avenues, and I don't want to, inadvertently say something that could cause someone some harm. So I am not here to tell you what to eat, even though as much as I love chit-chatting about food and sharing recipes, I am not in a place that I should tell you what you can or cannot eat to, gain or lose weight. Simple as that. It's not in my scope of practice. I want to be very clear about the things that I feel confident talking to you about and things that I don't. And telling you what to eat or how to lose weight is just not one of those things that's an area of expertise for me. Probably shouldn't have worn lipstick. I hope I don't have food on my face. I'll go back to edit this and there's just gonna be food covered across my face. That'd be great. The third reason that I don't bring up weight loss on my channel is because I have also struggled with body image and equating my self-worth to my size, and I certainly never want to put that upon anyone else out there. I don't want to be a part of that sort of culture that equates smaller with better. It took me a long time to feel really comfortable in my body, and I will be honest, the times when I was the smallest were not the times in my life when I have been the happiest. Ultimately, I don't want to ever be known for or be a part of an industry that tells people that being smaller is better. Smaller does not mean better. Weight loss does not equal, positive self-worth. It doesn't matter your size. It doesn't matter my size. I am happy. I am whole. I feel really strong and confident in my body no matter where I'm at. We all ebb and flow. And that's why I just don't want to put that out on my channel. I don't want to be known for causing other people to feel like they have to be smaller or they have to restrict what they're eating or feel like they are not enough. Some lovely little walnuts. Although I think I bought the non-salted kind, so they're not as good as they normally are. That's okay. So the last reason that I don't bring up weight loss on my channel, and I worry that this is going to sound like I'm throwing shade at other people in my industry, and that's certainly not meant to be the case. It's just meant to explain, again, why I don't personally do this. But when I see other personalities online saying things like, lose 10 pounds in 10 days, get shredded abs in, a month, all these things that are very clear objectives that are going to happen if you do the program, it feels very much like selling snake oil to me, where they're just promising you what you want to hear versus what's actually going to happen. Ultimately, if someone is, giving you something from online and you do not have a personal relationship with them, they have no idea what you are actually doing, nor do they know, what your daily life is like. You could be someone that works at a restaurant, therefore is walking around all day and already burning a lot of calories versus someone that sits at a desk. Or maybe you already, maybe you're on a different medication that's going to prevent you from reaching these things. You don't live in a vacuum. And for someone that doesn't personally know you to give you such a specific objective that you're going to hit if you do it, is just that's not realistic. That's not the way that works. At the end of the day, if it was super easy for everyone to have a six-pack, if it was that easy to just follow a 10-day thing to get a six-pack, everybody would have a six-pack. Unless we were having a personal one-on-one chat probably a couple of times a week, it would be very hard for me to tell you for sure how to get from A to B. You need more information than what someone online can give you. You need an actual trainer, you need an actual dietitian. Does that make sense? This is definitely not a sponsored post, but I love my teeny tiny little cutting board. I got it from this company called Mighty Nest. You can get eco-friendly products from them. You can do a subscription box or just order from them. So for a while I did their subscription box. I get fun little eco-friendly kitchen things or household things. And I think my favorite thing that I got was this like perfectly tiny little cutting board that is just right for like, a self-sized charcuterie board. That was maybe a little heavier than we were anticipating for our little chat today. Maybe I could have actually used some wine instead of just some bubbles. As I mentioned, these are just my opinions, and we don't have to agree, and that's totally fine. If you have totally differing opinions, that's perfectly wonderful to me. Takes all kinds to make a world, and I'm happy to have you here no matter what. When you join me for class, I really just want you to feel strong and confident. I hope you know that I'm really proud of you. I think you are beautiful and strong and fabulous just as you are right now. So tomorrow is another choose your own adventure day. You can join me for another class. You could repeat the Pilates class from this week. You could also just take the day off because we all need a day off now and then. I'll definitely see you on Sunday, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend.